All right, Typo, I just said we're going to start streaming. You start talking. All right, we just hit the button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Barbosa, joined by a wonderful Skype chat. I don't know if you guys can see yourselves from top to left. I still need to do some configuring, so we're going to start with John. John, John Kefalukis, a.k.a. Fallout. We got a lot of people. Actually, let me just introduce everybody. We got John Kefalukis, everybody. John Williams, Typo, a.k.a. the guy that did all the graphics and stuff for Hypestation. We got Jeff Mentz, a.k.a. the guy that's done a whole bunch of NJ Halos, King of the Couches, and he was also at Hype competing on Flip the Switch, right? Not the script. We got Tanner up in here, who knows everything about teams. He's our encyclopedia today for team changes, team rosters. And we have Brutality, always putting out content on that show, Road to Hype. She's always been supporting the Gears community with videos for Gears of War, for the community, by the community. That's Brutality down there. And I am Captain Barbosa, your host for the evening, just letting them talk. I'm just going to stay here in the top right while they do most of the work and I run the stream. No, it's not going to work like that. So, John Kefalukis, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Life is good. I've been sacrificing a little bit of sleep to play a little bit of Titanfall, but who hasn't been? Let's be honest here. But other than that, things are going well.
Good to hear, sir. And Typo, I think the same thing with you, almost?
No, not really. I've been sacrificing a little bit of sleep and not playing any Titanfall. That's a sad thing. Other than that, life's been good. Just chilling down here in Texas.
Down there, huh?
Yep.
Where you so badly want the next Hype to be.
That would be great.
Hey, real quick side note, I'd love to go to Austin. I already told you, Austin would be awesome, but don't know yet. Still working on stuff. Yeah. Mentz, how's everything going?
What's going on? Just same as Fallout. Just playing Gears and trying to grind on Titanfall while we still can. Before Gears gets announced, and then back on that.
Okay, thank you, Mentz. I forgot to say, guys, can you guys tweet this out that we're live? Because I didn't do that. I'm really busy doing everything else. Someone with the Hypestation Twitter access, could you just...
I did already.
All right, you did? Okay, fantastic. All right, just make sure all our bases are covered. Let's go over to Tanner. Tanner, what's going on with you last week?
Not much. I've been playing a lot of Titanfall with John recently, and playing some Gears, getting back on my Gears grind, and just working and schooling. Normal stuff.
Sounds like a normal life with some Titanfall mixed in there and some Gears, right? But that's what everybody's doing, right?
Yeah.
That's what they should be doing if they're not.
Yeah, right? No, everybody's actually playing too much Gears, not having a job, and can't afford to travel off the East Coast, according to what the Northwesterners say, right?
Get jobs.
Northwesterners, get that right.
No, the Northwesterners say that all the time.
Oh,
the Northwesterners are like, oh, God, these kids, they don't have jobs, they can't travel off the East Coast. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
That makes sense.
It's this dude wearing 3 headsets.
Who is... Oh, that's Typo. He's repping right now. And let's get to Brutality. Brutality, how are you doing?
A little under the weather right now, but other than that, been playing some Titanfall, doing some Gears videos. Hope you guys are checking those out.
Yes.
Other than that, just, living life to the fullest. Not really.
What?
Living life to the fullest? Not really.
Or you can do the Mentz. This is the Mentz right here.
Everybody do. It's got to go the other way. Yeah, like that. It's left hand. It's mirrored. Just for the record, everyone, I gave Brutality the keys to the Hypestation site, so when she posts content involving players and events and stuff like that, she can post it directly to the site. Doesn't even have to ask me. I trust her. So it's like giving over the car keys. Go ahead, go for a drive, do whatever. I'm sure you're doing something productive with it, so we've given her full access to the site to do content. And if anyone else is interested in doing that, you can approach me and you can approach Brutality. I'm sure we can rope you in if you're doing worthwhile content, and that goes for writing and doing videos.
Yeah.
All right.
We need some more content on there. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I wish I could do more. Like, I wind up just having no time. I would not play a video game if I had to do everything that had to be done. So it's just... All right. Let's move on. You guys ready to move on, or shall we...
Let's dance.
Shall we? Yeah, because I know we want to talk a little bit about Titanfall, but that's going to... Now that we have this wonderful agenda right underneath my window, we'll probably talk about some Titanfall, where it says competing games, so that'll come later. So we'll get out all our Titanfalls and stuff later. There's only 24 people in here. I should have probably advertised this more.
Oh, it just jumped to 32.
Whoa, mind blown.
We got 500 people in here over the weekend to watch a tournament. We could easily get 200 people at least to talk about the more important things, the reasons that we're playing this game. We're going to be talking a lot about what's up for Hype. We're going to give you guys some updates on the next Hypestation live event, so stay tuned for that. But if you guys want to hear that, spread the word, make sure everyone knows, because I got so many questions after the show last week about things that were just straight up discussed on the show. People missed it. I don't think people even realize the show exists yet. So let people know, let the players know, etc.
Also, you know what? We're not going to make the viewers a big deal because I will wrap this up into a nice highlight and throw it on YouTube. So therefore, that live. It's nice to have live feedback there down in chat. But you know what? We got to do it like it's an hour-long show. We don't want to burden people. Listening to like a 3-hour podcast, trying to get the information on the way to work. So let's just keep moving on along. If they missed it, they can just watch the VOD. And anyway, we were just talking about ourselves. Just one of my favorite topics. Not really. I am not going there. All right, so next on the agenda, we have rosters, and I'm going to let John and Tanner really hammer that one out because those guys know what's going on with some team changes and stuff like that. Tanner, actually, I'm going to toss it to you. What have you seen this week with team changes, and what's going on out there? Is there anything freaky going on with team rosters and changes?
Well, you had Infinity win their second online tournament in a row with the addition of Mavo instead of Flames.
Oh, right, we just did that.
After the tournament, you had Kirill's, Excels, Demo, and Kyle Critical. They formed a new version of Throwdown, which should be a really good team. And I think those are just the major ones that have happened recently. And Glory's back together, I think, but I don't know if that'll turn into a LAN situation.
Yeah, I think I would assume that they're back together. It's easy to assume, but I haven't heard any official confirmation or seen them scrimming.
I saw them scrimming multiple times.
Oh, you did?
So I
Okay,
know
they are back.
Scrimming together.
Excited!
That's exciting. So finally,
Confirmed.
Infinity will have some competition in these online tournaments because this is like a cakewalk for them. Seriously, the last 2 that they've won. And let's jump into that first. Let's talk about Infinity's roster. What that situation is. A couple pieces to that. So first, the best execution team, hands down, right now, especially with the addition of Mavo. Mavo really offers the strat calling. He helps out a lot with that piece. And they actually did not drop an execution map the entire tournament, but on the same line, or I guess the opposite, they lost every King of the Hill map besides
Except
your team.
the one that made them win.
Yeah.
No, they didn't lose one against us. They won more than one. They won a couple.
No, they literally I casted the whole tournament. They
I guess
won
on
one
stream.
King of the Hill. They won
one against Notorious, and they won one against us.
Was it on stream?
Yeah,
it was on
stream.
Oh, I don't remember.
Just happened very quickly.
it was
Yeah.
pick up.
So-
It was all
It
like a
was-
fast blur and also very slow in between matches. So
Irregardless, but on a real note though, that's
Yeah, they
They are
have work
so
to do
good.
on King of the Hill, but they're really good in execution right
yeah,
now.
they are so good in execution, and I think the roster change is going to do nothing but help them. I keep saying it over and over again. I mean, obviously they've proven it already. They took on Notorious, who beat them at Hypefestation Winter Brawl 8. Of course, that was kind of a grudge match. But they are looking very, very good. I think the thing about King of the Hill too is it's really one of those game types where you really need team chemistry, and to have team chemistry, you need to have been a team for more than a week. So I think it's one of the things only time will heal that. I think by the time the next hype rolls around, they will be more than solid.
Definitely agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be scary to watch. Hopefully the new Throwdown can really contest, but we'll see. Speaking of the new Throwdown, let's jump into that. For those of you guys that did not hear, Throwdown, which was about a year ago, they were a dominant Gears of War 3 team. 3/4 of the team decided to quit to pursue Call of Duty, and now they are back.
Oh.
Well, they were back. That was Mental, Clouts, Critical Kyle, and Demo. They came back as a team, and then yesterday, maybe the day before, it was announced that half of the team left and decided to team back up with LOX. So that is Demo and Kyle are now going to be teaming with Kirill's and Excels, and they are going to be playing under the Throwdown tag, which is causing a lot of controversy. But big question is, what does that leave for Mental and Clouts? Do you guys have any idea? Have you guys heard any rumors yet?
I know they're looking for 2. That's all I've heard.
I heard they're trying to go with the Glory Kids because some of the Glory Kids don't know what they're doing. So it sounded like Soto Explosives might team up with Clouts and Demo. So that's
It's literally just a roster swap, like a 2-2 roster swap. Okay.
what we've rumored. Other teams that are opening up. You guys have Wingos. Who is it? It's Wingos, Eternity, Supremos, and Sleepy Time. So
Okay.
that's another team that just opened
Vision.
up. They're calling themselves Vision. Yeah. So that's a big team. I think also Poseidon and them are actually going to take the game a little more serious instead of just drinking and showing up. So that's another team. So it's Poseidon. I think the team Poseidon, Bobby Rice.
Turn up.
Who, do you guys know who else on the team?
Knock and
Poseidon,
yeah.
Bobby Rice, Knock, Crushmo.
Knock and I think Crushmo. Yeah, I'm not sure if they were playing with
that
Crushmo
sounds
still,
like a
but I
lot
know
of
it's those
alcohol right there being consumed. Oh, God.
But if they're not drinking, that's definitely a team to watch out for.
Yeah.
They're all solid players.
Yep.
But let's see which team shows up. So
Yeah, so very exciting. And then, of course, there are rumors that Prison might come back if the prize pool is high enough.
Yeah, Prison said if there's $8,000 for first, he'll play.
Oh my god!
Just
Like
for first,
this is
Oh, yeah?
we're having fun with this game. Like we need to draw attention in like a massive way. Like I don't understand. Like like we build everything, all of a sudden, then we get a prize pool, then they show up. Like it's.
Yeah.
If you
It
want
seems
to
a
win
little
big money, you have to
self-beyond.
kind of help us raise the money, then win it.
Yeah. I feel like if you've been playing Gears of War, you're playing it more for the love of the game than money at all.
At
I
this
mean,
point.
Definitely.
Yep.
that's just how I mean, you play.
especially non-East Coasters, 100%.
Yeah, the non-East.
Yeah,
dude,
definitely.
shout out to anybody not on the East Coast coming to these events because it's a lot of money. They're flying and they're spending hotel money, they're spending flights, and then they're spending money on the tournament to be locked into like a conference room, hotel ballroom instead of actually going to that's Philadelphia. They stayed in the conference room all weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's just-
and then food and alcohol, which
Yeah.
is probably more than that whole trip for them right there.
But you know why? It's because they have jobs.
oh,
That is true.
typo with
They have jobs.
typo with the reality.
Boom, get a
Damn.
job.
Back to
Oh.
the jobs conversation.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, that's another one. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for team updates and roster updates, guys. We just wanted to make sure you guys are keeping up to date with what's going on in the Gears of War community. It's exciting that there are more teams that can contend this time because the big three, which were Synergy, Infinity, and LOX coming into the last tournament, it was kind of dull. It's exciting that there's at least 6, 7 teams that can really contend for that first place finish, which is good to know.
There's more cutthroat blood going on though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we
So-
officially moving on now? Are we going to talk about
we missed a key piece of that. I'm sorry.
Oh, what?
Sealand's it's in all caps in the agenda here. I had to say it. Sealand's return. So you guys all know Sealand. Everyone knows Sealand. Everyone loves Sealand. He is actually back and playing. He had a long run on the League of Legends. He was actually trying to make it into the Challenger Series. Decided to come back and play the game he loves, and that he dominates that. And Sealand is exciting to watch. Really, probably the smartest player, to play the game. Very methodical in everything he does. So he's back as well. So he's gonna make some moves. Whatever team he ends up on or forms himself, you can definitely consider that to be a huge contender. So that is exciting. So now we can move on. Finally,
I love how he had his own full caps line
He did. Sealand
in the
deserves it.
agenda.
Sealand deserves his own line. Seriously.
Demo's texting me over here, and he wants to make it clear that it's Clouts, not Excels. So Clouts is on the team. I
Okay.
just
Oh,
got the text.
Oh, really?
So it's going to be Clouts, Kirill's, Demo.
Oh, wow. That's breaking news. Then we are breaking news here. 'cause
Yeah,
I didn't
Yeah,
know
this
that.
just in. All
Just
about
to mess everything up even more. There you go.
Seriously.
I got a text and a call, so I guess he really wanted it to be known.
there it is. Good job, Mens.
Interesting. So
In that
that
lead.
just a roster change then, just mental.
So then that leaves
So-
to what is going to happen to Excels now.
Yeah.
That opens up a lot of new
Well, he'll probably go
possibilities.
play with Soto and Explosives in them.
Yeah. Good.
True that. Interesting stuff. Okay. Cool. Well, let's move on, guys. Next topic on the agenda, as you guys can see, settings V1.1. Been a full week since the V1.0 settings were revealed. People have been screaming on them. We had a whole weekend tournament to test them out, which is
Yeah.
exciting. And somehow Thrashball King of the Hill got thrown in the mix in the
Oh,
tournament.
man.
That totally
That
scared us.
Don't
Like,
get me started on that.
yeah.
Yeah, but somehow Thrashball King of the Hill was added. Thrashball King of the Hill is not a Hypefestation game type. I guess it's good we got to test it, but it was really, really bad. Have you guys had a chance to play on it?
It's real bad.
Yeah, I knew when I heard Thrashball, it was, it's not going to be good. Either
That's-
for execution or King of the Hill. Execution's going to be super campy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll touch on that too in the V1.1 settings reveal. It's actually interesting that you said that, Brett. That's like foreshadowing kind of. But
Oh my God.
with Thrashball King of the Hill, not only were the spawns so bad that like one team would spawn in the tunnel to the left, like right outside of the spawn, and the other team would spawn in the spawn right behind them. So similar to trenches, except unlike trenches, you were bound to run into each other. So it was literally just a flank within a flank. It was like Inception, Gears of War style. It was just, oh gosh, it was really bad. And then the last 4 hills
Yeah,
Each
all
of the
dildo.
4 hills all went to the dildos, one after another.
Oh, you God, stop calling it that. Like
dildo.
they're the
What do you-
pillars,
Is
they're
that
the
or
baby
the
bottles,
actual-
they're the
yeah.
something.
Or a
Jesus.
penis.
Or the
Oh, great.
phallic.
Yeah,
A penis or a dildo, Jason? It's your
Thanks.
discretion.
yeah, the more foul version.
What's up,
It
Twitch
looks like a
TV?
genitalia.
Hey, what's up, front
There's
page?
no way that was not on purpose. The designer thought he was making a really
That was
joke.
ridiculous. Yeah.
And not only that, but if you press B on Thrashball, like to look at the overhead map, it looks like a giant penis as well. So I think that is a sign right there. The developers, Quindle Ho, if you're out there, I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
No, that would be Jim Brown. He's the map designer, you know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that being said, Thrashball King Hill definitely not in anything. It was just kind of thrown into that tournament.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and reveal it. I will post the link right at the end of this discussion, or just now actually,
Yeah.
for you guys. Let me find the link first. If you guys give me 1 sec, I'll post it in there, and you guys will see. Biggest change, and by biggest I mean the only change, was the addition of 1 map, and that is it. So 1 second, guys. Let me post it.
It's a slow, gradual change. It's a
Yeah,
there you go.
we don't want to scare anybody. Oh,
It is-
Cove,
it is not
Cove is a
Cove.
good map. If
But it
Cove
is-
there.
It is a slow, gradual change. You know, we're kind of just easing our way in, and if something, not only that, but it's just so we can test one at a time, kind of.
Yeah, make
One
sure
at
it
a
works,
time.
take it apart, kind of thing.
If it does not work, we're gonna take them out by the time Hype 3, whatever it is, comes around. And for some reason, it won't let me post in the chat right now.
Typo, were you the one that said Cove?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. By the way,
Yeah.
the map played out amazing in COG Vengeance, the COG Vengeance Philadelphia tournament.
Were there swaps
I
on
thought-
it?
I
'Cause
thought
it-
Cove was one of the best maps.
Because it looks
there.
decent default.
I believe we played default. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it worked.
it looks
perfect.
pretty good default. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yep.
the map played amazing, and then the tournament ends, and I never
Yeah.
understood
Yeah.
why or what happened.
It's
I don't-
DLC, guys. All right. Here-
Yeah, okay,
but,
that makes-
but I mean,
okay, maybe
Barbosa has chickens. Like that's all that matters. It,
It
has
does have
chickens, bro.
chickens.
So does Old
And a
Town.
radio.
Kick chickens.
Yeah.
It has the
Kick
the
the
hutch.
chickens. It's
No, but
instant
seriously, out of all these shitty maps we have, it's a symmetrical map, and there's no like COG or Locust super terrible advantage on either side,
Yeah.
and with a little touch, barely any touches, the map is super playable. I just don't understand.
Who's disagreeing with you? No one here.
Tons of people hate Cove.
Oh.
I've heard some people
On Twitter, there's a lot of hate towards Cove.
I haven't played. Literally, I haven't even touched the DLC. So all I've heard is that it's a worse version of Gridlock.
I'm trying
I-
trenches and Gridlock where we're
I
throwing
see
smoke
where
and running for a fucking rocket every round.
It
And
look-
we have Cove,
Yeah.
this beautiful map.
You obviously could see where it reminds you of Gridlock, but like the center of the map is so different. Like the actual center of the map and how you can navigate around the center of the map is so different. I don't see that. Like the edge by the coast where the water is, yeah, it feels like Gridlock, you know. But
Right.
go to the other side, not so much.
That makes
Just-
sense. Okay, well, real quick before we dive into that, let's dive into what the change that was made in Hype V 1.0 and let's talk
Go,
about
go,
it.
go.
I posted the link in the chat. Posted it again just in case you guys missed it. The biggest update was the addition of Mercy Execution with very, very specific swaps. Nothing even remotely close to default.
It's our game.
Yeah, exactly. Jason's been saying it. Now it is our game, guys, which is really exciting. It's not like how it was before, where there was a huge push for default swaps. We wanted to try and connect to the casual fan base and combine to one. That is the goal. But since the game is 3 years old, it really is our game now. We can kind of do what we want
Yeah.
to make it as competitive, exciting, fun to watch as possible, which is setting updates. You have to change some things and test some things. So to run you through it, when I heard someone suggested to me Mercy Execution, and at first my thought was like, "Are you crazy?" We ran that; it was a disaster. We could never do Mercy Execution again. But then it kept being brought up, and I kind of started thinking about it. It planted a seed. And then I'm not sure if you guys heard about it or were there. I keep tweeting about it. We had a Hypefestation settings live feedback and testing session where it was literally 3.5, 4 hours straight of testing different game types, different ideas, followed by discussion from all community members, pro players alike. Everyone was there. We
Except
had
me.
Except who? Vince, yeah, you didn't hit me up.
Typo wasn't there. I was too busy. You hit me up. I had so much going on, but it's
Yeah.
okay. Because I mean, I'm
That's
sure
really-
a lot of good feedback came out of it.
Exactly. We got some great feedback from that. So basically, Notorious was represented. All of Notorious was in there at one point. Two Force of Infinity was in there throughout the entire time. Let's see, LOX was in there represented for a little bit. Throwdown came, Demo was in there representing. So yeah, quite a few teams and a lot of players, and it was a really, really good session. And what happened was we tried a few different things on Mercy. First, we tried putting a sniper in both bell towers, kind of like old school Canals 1-versus-1 sniper standoff to see how that was. And we were all excited. We were like, this is going to be awesome. It was just absolutely horrible because that was basically just one person per team that had to go pick up the sniper, and that was one less person per team that could devote to the actual fight. So it really slowed things down a lot. It wasn't great. But then we finally found the right mix of settings, and honestly, we have people like Praise. We had even Demo, who is super against the settings changes right now. Even he was saying this is actually a viable game type. He's like, I actually kind of liked it. People were saying it's the best new map out of the 3 that are added, whatever. So the settings are as follows. There are still frags inside as a default, and then there's going to be actually a boom shot in the middle of the map. And my initial concern when that was suggested is it'd be a crazy smoke fight for the boom. But the way the map is laid out, if you try to do that smoke fight, yeah, guess what? It's not going to work. The other team's going to grab nades, and you're going to be getting downed. A team's going to throw a grenade on you. You're going to die, and you're going to lose. So, if you can execute it, more power to you. There's going to be some really good strategies that are going to result. But that's the case with the boom shot in the middle. And then there's a long shot up top in the sniper tower where the one shot originally was. So you do see people actually fighting for that as well. A lot of strats that can be utilized, which is exciting about the map. It is fast-paced because there is that boom on the map. It is skillful because you do have that 1-versus-1, sometimes 2-versus-2 inside, which is exciting to watch as well. So a very good map so far. We'll continue to test it. If it is good, if it is viable, we'll keep it. If not, we'll drop it. Once again, guys, we have some time. We're going to test now rather than testing later. That's the addition of Mercy. So
Question: nade tagging, is that still an issue coming into the Cathedral? If that gets people start chickening out and wanting to camp inside?
I feel like that'd be more of a waste of nades. I feel like most people wouldn't do that because
Yeah.
if they're getting the nades, they're going to want them to use them
Yeah.
on someone more than just a camp. I feel like
Mercy's
most people
actually
would
a
put
really
them to
good map.
use.
Mercy's really good. It's actually a really solid map, and people complained about the whole up top strats versus going inside strats. It's just a meta game. Just because you're not taking a shotgun out head downing at someone doesn't mean you're not playing the game correctly. It's I think we got to give it a chance again. I actually really like Mercy. On trenches, I don't know, man. I hate the new boom shot on trenches. Oh man, that's terrible in my opinion. What do you guys? You guys like trenches from what you've played or seen?
I have mixed reviews. The first match I commentated on it, I was actually really, really, really concerned.
I was so lost.
Infinity. Yeah. Jason was just lost in general when we casted this weekend. But I was against it at first. I wasn't really sure how I felt. But then I got feedback from players saying that they liked it. So I said, you know what, I'll give it a try. And then in the tournament that we casted, me and Jason, it actually was a really, 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 it ran really well in that tournament. So that's me. Rain, how do you feel?
I played it, I think, 2 or 3 times in the tournament, and I thought it played out fine. I mean, it was new. It was a little something different, but I didn't think it was really that bad. I mean, you had a lot of people going for boom, but I thought a lot of down low strats, getting the up top or spider hole kind of negated that. I'd like to play it a little more, but initial thoughts, I thought it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Britt, did you get to play it?
Yeah, I like the fact that a new execution map was added. I really appreciated that. And it was okay. It wasn't my favorite by any means, but it wasn't, I don't know. I don't like it. It's probably my least favorite execution. Yeah, Thrashball can.
At Hype 2,
Yep.
those are horrible.
While we're on the topic of settings, I wanted to bring something up. I've been talking to a decent amount of people about this that remember Gears 2 and Gears 1 on the circuits. There's a lot of talk about side advantages on certain maps because the swaps, Old Town people only want to play COG because either up top on Snipe Round or they think it kind of negates on boom side. And then I was thinking on certain execution maps, if we could play with one set of swaps, that it doesn't cycle because then that negates the disadvantages or advantages the map brings. So on Old Town, it could be boom every round. Or on Checkout, it could be Ensigns and Digger every round. I just think that changes a lot of the swap sides because a lot of people pick COG or Locust on a map because of inherent side advantage, and that negates it if you only have one set of swaps.
I mean,
which is how it was when we played Gears 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I was
So I thought it'd
talking
be
to
interesting to try that out.
That's a big deal to just cut weapon cycling completely. That would change the whole game.
I mean,
I don't know for better or worse, but it would change everything.
some maps definitely Old Town. I was talking to John and I actually talked to Chubbs right after the tournament. Old Town is one of those maps that can totally benefit from non-cycling weapons. That way there's not a huge advantage when you actually go to pick what you're playing COG or Locust. That's definitely, if we want to keep that map, that's definitely one of the maps that would benefit from that.
I agree. I agree with that. But you have to pick which round's better, and sometimes you're going to get rid of a round that was probably good. Like, I agree with Old Town. It should probably be boom every round, which would make it the most competitive. But for rounds like other maps, we shouldn't do, like, people are saying in the chat, see Rabbit Tricks and other people saying, make it instants and digger every time on checkout. I don't agree with that. Just because it's a sniper and it's an ink, people play it a little slower. There doesn't have to be a fight on the platform or the plat side every single time. Like,
and on that note too, what it's actually evolved into, and it hasn't fully, it's currently evolving, hasn't fully finished the evolution, is it's turning into a 2-2 on that round. Teams like Notorious and Glory started running 2-2s, kind of like that nerd 2-2, grab nades, try to catch the guy off guard. And now teams like Infinity are like, okay, we have to counter that. So Infinity actually countered that by sending 2 over as well. And it's a 2-2 fight, which is that horrible? Like, you're going to still have a fight. The problem is when one team commits to nades, the other team commits to checkout side, it becomes campy, it becomes slow. But if you counter a 2-2 with a 2-2, that's a 2 versus 2 fight on each side, with some crossing in between. I think that's a really good fight to have. I think that's awesome.
And if you're from the UK, you just push plat every round. Just push plat. Everyone goes plat.
For not only just 3, but sometimes even 4. So that was interesting. So yeah, I think Mentz, you brought up a good point. I think it's a really strong topic. We played Gears 1, Gears 2, and it was super competitive. Without weapon cycling, and all of a sudden Gears 3 we're on this default swap push, and we added it, and now it's like second nature. It's like, oh, cycling. We're used to it. This is how we've been doing it for a while. But why? We haven't even discussed even changing it back, but I think, Mentz, you're onto a good point. It doesn't have to be black or white. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
We could do it with certain
maps. Exactly. A map like Old Town, I think, would definitely benefit. But certain maps, like a map like, I'm trying to think of a good example. I think Hotel is a bad example. But I'd say
I think the swaps work on Hotel, but I still think it'd be worth trying it out on every map, because if you have one set of swaps on a map, it opens up a lot more for strategy, because you're playing that round every time. So it kind of just kind of opens it up for you to do different stuff. I can't think of the word I'm trying to think.
I think it'd be a good change of pace.
But I feel like every time we're going to do that, it's going to end up being a map or a round that has a boom shot on it. Do we want every game and every map to be for a boom? Like Mercy, there's a boom. Trenches, we have a boom.
Well, I mean, Hotel
we're running boom every round.
We're doing this for the sake of speed, okay? Because the LAN, there's a value for every station, and like after I'm done paying for the expenses and valuing everything, like the stations at Hype Winter Brawl 8 were pretty much valued at $160 an hour.
Match.
So we kind of need to make sure the maps play out kind of quick. So it's not that we don't want to see changes and stuff, but like we kind of got to get things done. So that's what we're discussing here.
I completely agree, and Boomshot will speed things up. But to that point, LAN is so different than online, and people play this game so differently, no matter what they want to say. Even online tournaments, it's a 4-on-3. Watch how much faster a team breaks somebody down 4-on-3 online than LAN. It's gonna be campy. It's gonna be slow. No matter what weapons you put, it's gonna be slow. If there's Boomshot every round on Gridlock, it's still going to be slow. Because where are you going with that boom shot? You're going to run up to the tower not knowing where a kid is? You're going to run through that boom hall? It's going to be slow.
That's what's interesting is that Hype Winter Brawl 8 that it completely went against what you just said.
Yeah.
It was literally every map was super fast. In fact, the tournament we just commentated online was slower and campier than every single match at Hype Winter Brawl 8 online.
I think that had a little bit to do with headsets.
Yes, headsets. Yeah, it was
super
a little bit reckless with grenades and stuff. You're absolutely right, Tanner.
But no, Matt, I do agree. I do agree with a lot of that. The issue at first when we went into Hype V 1.1 testing was that there's actually not a lot of boom shot. It was only Hotel and Old Town, which is every other round that had a boom shot on the map. So it's this weapon that is actually it's an exciting weapon, like the rockets in Halo. Imagine Halo without rockets, non-existent. It's a very valuable power weapon that needs to be in the game. Unfortunately, I wish it was 2 instead of 3. Maybe that's something we could talk to Black Tusk, because now Black Tusk is hands on with development.
Yeah, they listen. They're listening.
They're listening today that they're gonna, so maybe we could talk to them about putting back 2 back in there. That'd be awesome. But nonetheless,
that would be way better.
We needed to see some more booms on some maps. Not every map, not as extreme like you mentioned, but.
I agree. Old Town should be boom.
Yeah, I definitely think it should be boom, because I originally come from Halo. Most of you guys know that, but the thing is with Halo, you have such a consistency with what's going to spawn, and you have drop spawns.
Yeah.
And in Halo 3, that gets really crazy. Like, a lot of math goes on in your head whenever you have to do all that, where you don't get that sort of stuff in Gears because it takes so long for a boom to come back up or something.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have consistency. Like, it's always rockets in mid-hall on pit. It's always going to be there. You always know that. You know what time things are going to come up on the map, and you can plan for that accordingly, And the thing is whenever I've been watching a lot of online tournaments, especially in the case of Old Town, whenever you have dig on the map, it's like, depending on what team it is, facing the other team, if they're going to kind of slow play it, you're going to get 3 minutes of nothing, you know, and then it's going to just resolve in 30 seconds or it's going to stale. And we can't have that happen, especially if we're trying to get matches to go quicker.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest thing here. We can't have slow play like that.
That is true. So I think if it is going to be changed, you know, first off, we're going to hear from the community. We're going to make sure that's what the community wants. You know, we're not here to make decisions and you know, be elitists and say this is what we're doing and this is what, you know, we're here to do whatever is best for the players, whatever you guys want. You know, but if it is going to happen, it's going to happen to a few maps. Not every map, I think, is what we could all agree on.
Yeah,
You know, it should be tried out in a few maps.
You know, having diversity, you know, having strategies switch up because of the weapon placements, I think is really good, because then it lets, if you're really good with the torque bow, then you know that round on hotel is actually going to be interesting, watching the torque bow player, you know, either grab a headshot or just pick someone off with it. So we kind of don't want that to go away. You still want players that are good with those particular weapons to shine in the competitive area. Just we just got to do what's best for the LAN and the competition in terms of time
Exactly.
and displaying skill.
Yep, I could not agree more.
Like I said, Rain's point of getting rid of certain weapons, like getting rid of it, I agree we should try it on everything, but I just don't agree with like getting rid of like a lot of rounds open up weapons and different strategies. Like what you said, if you're running one side, like if it's just boom, say Old Town, it's just boom every round. You're right. People have tons of different strategies you're going to run on just that one round. But at the same time, you're also cutting a whole round out. So it would be easier for new players coming in because they only have to learn one map and one round.
Right.
But at the same time, like you're cutting a lot of strategy out of, you know, think about all the strats you have for
Yeah,
each
but I
side.
mean, I think you're still the problem is that people are choosing maps to host or to get COG on or whatever just because one side is better, and that makes the map unbalanced at the very beginning before you even start a round.
So
You're
the
right,
maps,
I
the
agree
maps
with
where that
that.
is the maps where that is a problem, which is really just Old Town right now. That should be the map.
Well, I mean, I think checkout. I think you see a lot of people picking the
On
side
checkout,
with
yeah,
that
that's
right
true.
hand on
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
on
true.
incendiary rounds.
And,
but I
and
mean,
King of the Hill Drydock, obviously everyone wants COG on King of the Hill
Yeah, that's a
Drydock.
problem.
but that's one round. I mean, that's just how it is. Regardless.
It's an opening,
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so I think we discussed the shit out of that. You know, I think we could all agree, which is good. So that's some good dialogue, some healthy conversation. We'll see what happens with that. Next thing is I just want to discuss Thrashball execution real quick. And there was a slight push. A lot of the Synergy guys really wanted to see Thrashball execution. I was actually all for it. The only reason it was not added last week in the Hype V 1.0 settings was because we didn't want to launch them.
Brutality.
Three settings at once. That's what I was doing.
She held up a mug that said no.
Oh, did she? I gotta have the cameras up. But I was open to it, and we ran testing on Saturday, and a couple things ensued. We ran a bunch of different settings. First, we ran like a digger up top in hopes of encouraging the fight up top. And the fight up top is a good one. I think it's fun to watch. It's a good fight. It's very similar to the checkout 3 versus 3. The difference is the people down low are so far from the fight that they really can't help or contribute, which is not exciting, which is not fun. So that was one big issue. And then it's also just kind of a clusterfuck, you know, part of my French.
It's
But
smoke fuck.
it's a smoke fest, and it's kind of crazy. Putting a digger in there is kind of fun. You can grab the digger and launch it and get a kill. It's just too close quarters and closed in. Checkout, it's more open. You could back out. There's different lanes that really separate things. You know, so that was an issue, but I still liked it. It comes down to the reason, you know, after all that testing on Saturday, it was decided not to add Thrashball execution is because the conversation ended up turning into, okay, you know, we need to do these swaps because we need to force people to fight this way or another. And I took a minute to step back and say, wait a minute. Since when in Gears of War should you have to force a team to play a certain way? Like, you know, a map is bad and cannot be played competitively when you have to force someone. You have to say, look, you will fight up top. If you want to run a down low strat, you're going to lose. You will fight up top, because then it's just like they're drones. You can't have variety in strats.
Exactly.
It's one strat over and over and over again. You know, that's what makes for a bad map, and that's what's wrong with Thrashball. It's a good fight up top. I like the fight, but the up top versus down low, it's like one team goes up, one team goes low. Bam, you're going to camp. That's going to happen every single time.
Yeah,
So
the initial fight is what is really good about that map, but then that's it. Once the team doesn't have top, they'll rotate down low, wait for nades or whatever's down there, and it's too much of an elevation change, I think.
I completely agree with that. So, you know, for now, Thrashball wasn't added. You know, we'll see, you know, these 3 maps right now. We'll see how they continue to evolve and play out. If we need to get rid of one, we will. But in general, when it's all said and done and the dust kind of settles, we're going to have 2, maybe 3 tops execution maps added. We'll see if we can mess with the Cove as well. That'd be cool. So keep an eye out for that next season.
If I may, did we do all the maps right now? So I could push the agenda? Did we cover all the maps? All right, so to wrap that up and give you guys some homework to do. This is everybody in chat. Do what I did. Make sure this works. I was able to transfer all my files onto a USB key. So go get yourself a USB key, because we're going to do this like the Australians are going to do this. If you want new maps, we got to do like the Australians do, right? So I actually went for it. I moved everything from my hard drive to my USB key except the ROM Shadow campaign. So that's pretty much all my DLC. I put it on my USB key, and I went to another Xbox that I had here that had nothing on it. And I was able to host DLC maps on that Xbox from my USB key. So we might have to discipline everyone to be like, have a season pass or download everything, put it on the USB key, and if you don't come with it, shame on you. We'll sell you an overly expensive USB key to punish you for not bringing it. Then you can recover your tag, recover your maps, and then play with it. And that's the only way we're really going to get some DLC. I'm really happy that works. We just have to make sure that we have a venue that can connect to the internet so you guys can download those playlists.
Which we will, hopefully.
We must work together. So that, I guess I'm going to leave that ending the map chat, and let's turn over to the nitty-gritty rules here about character banning.
Yeah. So to kind of kick that off, some discussion has been going on about characters, and at Hype Winter Brawl 8, there were a lot of teams that started to kind of take advantage of the fact that A Carmine and B Carmine, technically different characters by the rules. That is okay, you can play both of those characters, but we talked that we played it through the entire tournament, and then after the fact, the discussion has been brought up about not allowing that. So I guess that's the first thing we'll talk about, and I'll explain the reasoning behind that from my perspective, why I'm actually opposed to A and B Carmine both being used. And here's why, guys. A lot of you guys don't know this history. Rain, you'll remember this, and you'll probably smile. But back in the Gears of War 1 days, before there was any character limitations at all, every team would pick a character, and all 4 members of that team would play that character as a way to kind of get yourself an advantage.
That's how we played GBs. Every team was 4 classic Baird or 4 Carmines.
4 Carmines. Yep, exactly. Yep. Every single team, and that's how you did it. Because you have an advantage. The advantage is, look, Carmine's full red. It's like, which one? There's 3-4 Carmines on the map. What the hell am I going to do? So when finally this was almost a year after the game came out, about 7 months, when MLG decided to pick up the game, which we were all super excited, they made a rule saying every character on the team must play as different characters, and we were all in arms. It was crazy. We're like, why do you have to do that? We want to play as 4 Kims or 4 Carmines, and we were all like, what is the reasoning? And of course, MLG, it's like the final banhammer. They have the final say. But they actually explained it to us, and here's the reasoning for that: is one, from a commentator's perspective. We playing GBs, we never had commentators, obviously. Finally, the game was going to be produced and broadcasted, and from a commentator's perspective, how do you commentate saying, Carmine's doing this, because they didn't know the players' names. No one knew the player names, so they wanted to be able to let the commentator say different character names as they're casting. So Dom is going this way, and look, Dom just made a huge play, or Carmine, that from a commentator's perspective. 2, from a player's perspective,
callouts.
I mentioned earlier callouts, saying Carmine is over here, Carmine is full red, this person's over here. So the same concept of that, and now it all makes sense. That's totally logical. The same concept from that applies over to this current discussion about the 2 Carmines. Having 2 Carmines, A and B Carmine, if you can tell the difference between the 2 of them, okay, you explore Gears of War lore like anyone else, and you know everything about the game. Me, as a person who played professionally, I can't tell the difference between Anthony and Ben Carmine, nor do I care enough to know that their one person's helmet is slanted differently, and is a little bit smaller, and that's how you know it's Ben.
John, I'm gonna butt in here, John, and say it's actually up to like art designers, like really good art designers. They work on the silhouette of characters. And for instance, I'm going to bring up a really good game, and there's commentary for it and everything. Team Fortress 2. You cannot mistake any class for being another class in Team Fortress 2. It's a scout, it's a heavy, it's a medic, whatever, it's a sniper. You cannot mistake the silhouette. Even from way across the map, you cannot mistake what character you're facing. And that's the issue, is just identifying what you're going up against immediately as a competitive player. It's that silhouette, really.
Exactly.
And the helmets are very, very similar. From far away, you don't know. Go ahead, Mince.
Yeah. I completely agree with what you guys are saying, like the whole A and B. I definitely think we should have even stopped at the last tournament.
Yeah.
People are like, Chubbs keeps saying, what about Clayton Carmine, because he looks different. Honestly, I think if we're gonna ban him, we should just ban him. Like the team can have one. Like if you really want your Carmine,
take a Carmine.
Clay Carmine, it's Clay Carmine, and that's your one Carmine for the team.
This whole Carmine thing's got me pretty astounded, because the Carmines don't look the same, really. I mean, Anthony Carmine is lighter blue, is a different helmet. Ben Carmine is darker blue and is a different helmet. I mean, if you've been playing Gears, I'm pretty sure you can tell the difference between the Carmine.
I
can tell it easily. I mean, I know if that's Anstey, I know if that's Ben. I think we're kind of splitting hairs or grasping at straws with that one.
What I think is really crazy, because see, John, you said this was all coming from an MLG perspective. You know, they were the ones that came up with this idea. Okay, where in Halo are any of the Spartans different until Reach?
Yeah, no, they're not.
They weren't.
Like, it's always been the same character model from 2001.
Yeah.
Why is this like a Gears thing? I mean, it's weird because now that I'm here and I'm in Gears, I'm totally for it. I want to see players all using someone different, and I understand from a caster's perspective, it makes it way easier on you guys. But at the same time, that is really strange that MLG would actually even employ that rule back then.
That's a good point. That is a really good point. And I don't know. I can't really dissect MLG's opinion to that, because that is a good point. I think it was the fact that the characters in Gears are obviously different than the characters in Halo. You know, they're far more developed. Each and every one of them has their story, and whereas in Halo it's just Master Chief and that's it. And that's why I think it's like aligning with the story in the campaign. I think that's why MLG made it. But that's a good point, though. That is a good point. To back then, why they make that decision.
Also, I'm going to jab here to Judgment, right? I know everybody doesn't really agree that they made a COG versus COG, but it's so much easier to call out an enemy name than like some of the locusts looking the same and just being like, get that locust, get that grenadier, or they all look the same. It's just the identification process. So you can call out Cole, you can call out Barrett. It's so much easier to recognize the COGs from far away, and essentially that's one of the key reasons why they did that. So just putting that out there.
And I want to bring up another thing. Community member Slim Crim had a suggestion. He's been kind of tweeting about it, that we should actually limit it to only 4 characters total allowed for COG and Locust. He said,
I think that's ridiculous.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, I think he said for COG it's just Dom, Carmine, Baird, and Marcus.
Rabbit's been saying that too. I think the whole character thing is such. It's either a mental thing or it's people have only played Gears 3 or what.
Yeah.
Because Gears is all about characters. That's why people love playing Gears.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the culture of the game.
And I think teams should still be able to have a girl character, personally, because that was a big thing with Gears 3, and we're kind of cutting out a segment with that. I still think, just gameplay-wise, I mean, I never had a problem. I was like, I was fighting a girl, like, maybe, I don't know. I just think it's more of a mental thing than anything else, and you're kind of excluding people.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know people are really strong opinions about, this character sponges and whatnot, but I think it's...
Only certain ones. I have a huge thing with it, because I've played way too much Gears 3 in my life, and I play so much ranked, and this is my thing. If you know a character's broken when you go in ranked and you play 5 of them. And this is my whole point. Ranked kids play the game to expose the bad parts of the game. If you play Gears Judgment, you'll play 5 Kims every round because he has half a head in the game. And they glitched it. If you play Gears 3, you go in ranked, you fight 5 Cantuses, Savage Cantuses, and you fight 5 Classic Bairds. Classic Baird sponges. Cantai, yes, 5 Cantai.
Thanks, Britt.
Carmine and all these characters, they all are the same. It's connection. The game sucks. People say, I watch people eat point blanks on land. It's just the game. Gear sucks. It happens. But
I think the only character that actually is broken is Savage Cantus.
That character is completely broken, and I'm glad we banned it a long time ago. But Classic Baird, I've proven it. I'll make more YouTube videos on it if I need to.
You made a YouTube video? Let me see your YouTube video.
Just go to Nick Merck's video when he tried shooting Void in the back in a scrim. Type in
How many times does that happen to every Gears player where you point blank someone and they don't die?
No. Classic. I just want all the other people, whoever's in the chat, if you honestly think Classic Baird is broken, please stand up and say it, because this is the time. That character is by
Tell him to press a number. Tell him to press a number. What number do you want?
Press 1 if Classic Baird is broken.
I was just
the most broken character on the COG team that we're allowing. It literally sponges. I don't understand how other people don't see this. Everyone complains Carmine eats since Gears 1, like this and that. Classic Baird in this one is literally a sponge. You'll see every single team has it.
It's a sponge. What is it? Like
people have had classic. Every single team has a classic Baird because every single team has had a classic Baird since Gears of War 1.
Yeah,
that's people's
one of the most famous characters.
So why when you play ranked 5 classic Bairds, you play every time? It's just people. Those kids know. They play all day waiting to see how broken. I'm telling you, female characters have smaller actual hitboxes, and I hope we don't ever try to bring that back, because they literally are smaller. The heads, the shoulders, it's been proven.
Here's what I'm gonna say is, maybe female characters you could, it's been proven, you could debate that, but Classic Baird is the same exact body type, same exact body size. If you talk let's think logically here, from a developer's perspective, do you think the developers would have. Like, I mean, it's science. It is
You're
science.
asking, you're asking if Epic messed something up? Yes.
How could they? Have,
It's
No,
fun.
I'm not
He's saying
saying-
it's fundamentally flawed. Like there is a fundamental flaw to that character model.
See, I understand that. Like, I understand. Like, Epic, obviously, they can make mistakes. But how could you, like, from a scientific perspective, how could you code something wrong to make it more spongy? Like,
They have,
size
though.
is a measurement. Size is a specific measurement. But sponginess is so ambiguous and vague that that's not even quantifiable. Like, you can't even code that.
Like,
into the
yeah,
game.
no,
It was
here,
proved with
I
Savage
can tell
Cantus
you.
even.
I
Savage
can
Cantus is bigger than all of them, and it's
Alright.
been proven that.
Well, Savage
the character-
Canvas is a different model, though.
Allow me,
Bear
gentlemen.
Pretty much is the
I
same
get it.
model as Kim, Carmine, etc.
Can
All the blue
I talk here?
armored
Can I
guys.
talk? Can I talk?
Yeah.
Can I talk?
Go ahead, Captain.
Is it my turn? Okay. So here's what
ahead.
happens. It's a latency thing. It's a ping thing, right? So if Classic Baird is fundamentally flawed and we don't know exactly how to explain it, right? What may be happening is that the hitboxes may be slightly in front of Baird or they may be slightly behind Baird. Whatever the case may be, those hitboxes may not be totally calibrated and fitted onto the character model. So in a sense, what happens now is you see Baird and then you're going to shoot the actual visual representation of Baird. However, we can't prove if his hitboxes are slightly in front or slightly behind him. So, especially when you're playing with latency and ping, if he's running completely sideways, which is chances are when it happens the most. If he's running completely sideways, you're shooting the visual Baird, but you're not hitting the hitboxes, it looks like a complete sponge because, look, I saw him there, but especially when the latency reaches your client, I don't know if you guys know networking code, but there's client and there's server. So your client may have seen you just blasted Baird, but on the server, it didn't even register because the hitboxes never got touched, but your client is showing you blood effects and everything. That is essentially what a lot of these Gears guys are saying that they can't see, is that may be the latency fundamental flaw with Classic Baird. And if it's that proven, we might have to do something about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's proven. I think it's more of.
I feel like we haven't done enough testing, and people just want Baird. I'm telling you.
I don't know. I mean, like
The game's been
this
out
is
for
where
3 years. We're gonna ban Baird now.
Yeah. I mean, this
Should
is
be.
just where I'm coming from. I mean, yes, I don't scrim the game. I'm not in online tournaments all the time. It's just like, what if you just manned up, right? Like, grow a pair. What if you just use characters that people never complain about, and you win? Then they have like absolutely no reason to say, "Oh, well, you used Baird. Oh, well, you were using this." Like, if you just use characters that people never say a word about, then you have total proof that it's like I won legitimately. I mean, I don't see how that's a problem either.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's players like, all right, Praise used Classic Marcus, Will the Beast used Hoffman. So it's proved that like some of the top players can use the characters that most people are not going to use and still perform.
Right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I
Well,
agree.
I think the sponge thing also applies to the game in general. I mean, at this last tournament we had, I remember on Dry Dock, I came behind a guy that was sitting in the ink, like the ink trailer, and I shot him twice. There's a bunch of people sitting behind me who didn't die. And I ended up dying. I don't remember what character it was, but we were on COG, so I know it wasn't Baird. But I mean, I think it's just part of the game in general is that the way the game is made,
client.
sometimes
Barbosa
people
with
eat
the client
shots.
thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the client.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But it's not that the client is the client can't possibly change around Baird. So like that video, I watched the video of Nick, and that's hilarious, by the way. But that same situation has happened to me.
That happens all the time.
That's happened to me like thousands of
Different
times in Gears of
characters.
War with every character, and I can.
No,
easily
I
post
agree.
the same
That's
video,
just
you know
that's
what I'm
just
saying?
one that's just one example. No,
Yeah. So,
I
I mean,
understand what you're saying.
until it can be like literally proven in the
Okay.
slightest sense.
Let's get Coin in
So-
here now.
All right, now how
Yeah,
about we're running out of time. We're trying to keep this an hour. We still have 2 topics to go to. We can
Oh,
test
you're right.
this. We can do our homework. Let's do our homework. All right. I wish I could do this like captain's homework. You know, like we'll just do it. Let's get some more videos of proven sponges. But you know, if it happens to Bear, but then it happens to completely other different character models, we got to figure out what the problem is. So
I was told by devs that all hitboxes were the same
yeah.
by Epic.
We've always
That's what Epic was pretty
Yeah.
adamant about.
Epic
but-
said even girl characters hitbox.
I think hitbox are the same. There's something about girls though. Like I still don't have a problem if each team had a girl because I mean then it's even.
It's just
fair.
one. It's one
But
even
the way
advantage,
they-
right?
Yeah.
The way they, I think it's the way they sit on cover or something. Sometimes you can't
Yeah.
see 'em.
You don't see them when they
But
sit
I
on
mean,
cover.
I-
Type 1 and
That
2
was
ran
where
just
we
fine with girl characters.
Can I just say,
Yes,
people are saying in
yes,
chat, hashtag kill Baird or save Baird. This is like the kill Carmine, save
Oh,
Baird.
yeah.
You can buy your Xbox Avatar shirt starting tomorrow.
Oh wow.
All proceeds go to Hype Station for bringing it up. Okay, but you're right, though. We do have to move on. So, Jason, take it away.
All right, we're just going on to our next thing. We're talking about competing games in the future of Gears of War with upcoming game releases. And Perfect is Titanfall coming out this week. So, how many of you guys stopped playing Gears for the last couple days to play Titanfall? Everybody
Yeah,
did, right? Raise your hand. I'm sure everybody in chat's like, everybody tried to play Titanfall. The thing is, I believe that Gears of War competitive can still live through this blockbuster game because it's not going to be competitive. There's a lot of things that need to happen in Titanfall to make it actually a competitive game, like private lobbies, and then after private lobbies, then you need a spectator mode, and after a spectator mode, then you got to figure out the format and, what are you going to travel for? What kind of game types will you actually travel for and not get screwed on, for random factors like minions and stuff. So
there's so many variables, including like burn cards. Are you going to have the snipers and the grunts in the game? Are you going to take them out?
Essentially, it's just a fun game, right?
It's just a fucking blast, man.
Yeah.
It's a fucking blast. Just to run around and just pub star and kill shit. But for now, that's all it is. That's all it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And not only that, even if Titanfall does blow up, great.
Yeah.
Halo blew up also while Gears was blowing. Like, we could have two different games. You're gonna have people that enjoy playing one game or the. For me, Titanfall could be the best game in the world, but Gears of War is still Gears of War, and it's still my favorite game. It's still an awesome game. So I think
Titanfall is going to get old soon. There's not
That's what I
that
think.
much to do after. There's not a ton of unlocking to do or customization like Call of Duty. So I'm kind of afraid that its player base might slowly go down because once you prestige once, I don't think you really get anything. You just keep.
You just go up quicker.
Yeah, you just
I
get
think
like an
it's good
icon.
for the casual or maybe someone who's only used to playing story modes. Maybe it's a good introduction into multiplayer gaming
Definitely.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think my favorite thing about Titanfall, this is just totally random tangent, but because it's such an introductory game, I love that whenever you're just running around the map, they have like actual scripted moments whenever you're like approaching A or something in domination. They'll tell you like, "Hey, Titan, you're pilot. You're really close to this objective. Like, go take this objective." For someone that doesn't play old multiplayer games at all, like this may be their first game. Let's say like they bought an Xbox One. They're 14 years old. They've never played GBs or something, right?
like us in Gears.
they don't.
Right?
They don't know what to do, maybe, and so that's really cool. I don't think I've ever seen an initiative like that taken in any other game to really tell you, aside from just a HUD waypoint, like exactly what to do at every moment of the game. That's pretty
And
amazing.
for someone like, if you don't need to be like babysat or whatever through the game, and you know what to do and kind of what the objective is and what it's all about, I can tune those voices out. I don't know about
Right.
you guys, but they're
Oh,
easy
yeah,
to
definitely.
tune out.
Yeah, and I think most people that are really good, they don't really get on their Titan very often. They just kind of let it do its own thing. It's pretty powerful on its own, being an auto Titan, and they just stay in the air. They stay on the rooftops and they get around. Because I definitely think the game has all those parts that could potentially make it such a competitive title. It's just it needs more. It needs more game types. It needs private lobbies. And I was talking to you, John, like explaining how you can't do P2P at all. Like that's a big thing because honestly, there hasn't ever been a game, in my knowledge, there's never been a game that's had private lobbies that were dedicated servers, except for Battlefield 3. However, you had to buy those. And I don't
Yeah,
have
same
a
with
problem.
Battlefield 2. Am I dating myself?
I don't have a problem if you had to do, like, honestly, if competitive teams wanted to scrim on dedicated servers, paying a small fee per day or per month or whatever to do that, that would be great. I would totally throw money at Microsoft or whoever.
That was in
It's
the era
just-
of clans
it's a big
too.
deal.
Like
That's
I
the issue.
remember for Battlefield 2 clans, you would be so proud, like, we have our own server. Come to our
Right.
server and play, and we'll recruit you and stuff like that. And it was cool because that's how they made their money. That's how they that was like their DLC over time, or their subscription thing was like, yeah, play the game, but if you wanted servers and to really get into the game, just have your clan's own server. And there was thousands of servers, which was awesome.
Oh yeah,
So-
it's extra money. Like it's kind of like the thing where if you want to change your gamer tag, it costs you $10.
Yeah.
PlayStation Network doesn't let you change your name at all. You have to go make a whole new account. And I'm just like, are you kidding? Like, people are throwing around all this stuff about Sony being in financial trouble, and I'm like, if you just made people pay you $10, to change their name, because people would do it. That's $10. $10.
$10 for a
Every
computer to go, okay, this is your name now.
Yeah, I mean, how ridiculous
Yeah.
is it? It's simple things that Microsoft can just bank on.
Okay, but I
Crazy.
will say, keep in mind, we advertise this as a Gears of War stream.
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
okay. I'm
You're in a little bit.
We are talking about our competitive titles coming up, though. We have to see how well Gears can do against the next generation of games coming out. So,
Oh, yeah.
again, to kind of go back to how we started this topic, in the next whole year, we've got big games like Destiny, Defiance.
The Division.
There we go, Division. There's a whole bunch
Halo,
of.
new Halo.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so we'll give Halo can possibly end, but that's coming out in November. Like that's gonna be like holiday season, right? Yes.
Could be 2 events from now. Wink, wink.
Shut. Yeah.
I heard it's not even coming out this year anymore. It's going to be a Halo 2 remake this fall.
Yeah,
That's the rumor going around like the past month, I
And
think.
honestly, I think they're going to screw that up if they do
Oh,
come out with Halo 2. Sorry. Shots fired to them.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just, they're not going to give us. They're not going to give us things that Halo 2 players really want. They're not going to give us, BXB, BXR, all these ridiculous jumps and things. Like I just don't see them perfectly creating a carbon copy of the game. Like they're gonna noobify it in some way and screw it up, and people are gonna be like, and then it's gonna die.
yeah.
I have no faith in them actually making it perfect again. Anyways.
Yes. Britt, does anything look like it? Anything coming out this year that looks like it may stray from your interest in competitive Gears?
No.
Batman
See?
Arkham Knight.
No, Gears is a game in its own. You're not going to have body parts flying everywhere and beating people with their own arms. Sorry,
Although,
not going to happen.
I just want to throw this out there. I looked at a game yesterday on YouTube called Inversion. Wasn't really marketed ever. It's like a Gears clone. So go check that out if you guys want to see some third-person gameplay that looks just like Gears, like eerily looks like Gears, and
Yeah.
moves
Inversion?
around like it's called Inversion.
Was it an
And,
arcade game?
No, it was a game that came out and it kind of switches gravity on you. But
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
okay,
switch
okay.
gravity and like you go up
Is
against
it?
the wall, it's like a cover-based. Okay, now you're on the wall playing Gears of War. Now you're on the floor playing Gears of War, and now you're floating. This is the floating is the only thing that Gears of War didn't
This
have.
gun they have in the game is literally a retro lancer.
I'm
looking at
telling
it right
you,
now.
yeah. So anyway, that's a little off topic. I just want to let you know that existed. But again, I think Gears of War. We definitely have a really good year before people are gonna just turn off their Xboxes and not plug it in again. So
No.
we got
When do you
this year.
expect the new one to come out? When do you think the new one's going to be out?
Oh, geez. Like, that's probably going to be a 2.5 year endeavor. And that's if they're copying and pasting some of their assets. Like, we already have great character models that are, it's called texture budgets and polygon budgets, where they got to optimize the game so it runs smoothly. And I'm sure that, like the Marcus and the Dom character models, those are really great character models when they're not de-resed or downscaled to run better. So they can just kind of, like, plop them in full res or even improve them.
And sounds would be the same as well. right?
Yeah, the sound and all that stuff. So they have a lot done, but still, we essentially, I don't want them to pump out a game. I want them to take their time.
Yeah.
I prefer them to really do a good job than like, oh, we got to get a Gears game out. Here you go. Shit. Like,
Yeah, I was
damn it.
predicting like next year, but I was hoping maybe we could get just a super sneak peek at E3, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Probably not. Yes.
Personally, I would want the game to come out kind of in a lull. Like I would want it to release summer of like 2016 or something. Spend plenty of time on it, but at the same time, there's nothing else. So it's gonna be like, well, hey, a new Gears game is out. Like we're gonna draw all the attention right now, rather than having to compete with Titanfall, Halo 2 remake, and a new COD or whatever. Like all this stuff all at once.
Yeah, 'cause
there's
that
only
really
two.
worked well for Judgment. Let me tell you.
I mean, there's only so many people. There's only so much money that you're gonna actually go spend on a game. Are you gonna go buy all four of those titles? No.
That is true
Yeah.
in a certain period. Yeah,
But now
trust me.
Microsoft owns that.
Yeah,
so you
exactly. I
Have
was
to, you have
just
to
gonna say
think
that.
they're contracted to do probably a certain amount of games in a
I
certain
can
amount of time.
guarantee Microsoft is going to start regulating all of that because Microsoft as a business, they realize that in a certain period of time, people cannot pay, for 7 games in one semester or one quarter. It's not possible. So Microsoft's going to regulate that as that comes. But yep,
Hey, let's do something fun here, right?
let's go.
You have 45 seconds roughly, so you may rant over to a minute, or you might go under. 45 seconds to suggest a multiplayer feature or something definitely to happen in the next Gears game. So 45 seconds, John. I see you rubbing your hair. Are you ready, John?
I am so ready.
All right, you got 45
Yeah,
seconds.
what do you
What
think
would you
about
love to see multiplayer, Gears of War, whatever the next game is?
I would like game types, 2 game types. I'm going to say 2 game types because I think my one is game types, and within that is 2 game types. One, a capture the flag that is just capture the flag. Not you're going to pick up a fucking meat shield and walk around and
Meat flag. Yeah. Yeah.
None of that. A capture the flag. There's a flag in your base, flag in the other base. Ready, go. Respawn would be awesome. 2, a bomb game type of some sort, which has been discussed a lot. But for all of this to work, the underlying thing is a spawn system that works, not just like a random. Like I'm talking like a Halo 3, Halo 2 spawn system. That's what I would ultimately want for
All right.
these game types to work.
Wind down right there. We go to typo. 45 seconds. Multiplayer feature.
Oh god, I'm just gonna kind of rebuttal that real quick. I don't think GTF's ever gonna work. I'm just saying. Okay, look, no, here's the thing. Verticality, Gal-J, suck. Boom. You have to have verticality in a cover-based shooter for CTF to work. You're gonna play on a map that's like this. Like, you're gonna have to be able to angle down and kill people who run in flag because they're gonna get behind something. Like, I just do not think CTF would work. I love CTF. I have a freaking belt buckle that I wear almost every day that has CTF on it from Halo 3. Like, I love it. It's my favorite, but I don't think it's gonna work in Gears. However, I just want the game to be consistent. I want any sense of randomness to be gone. Like, I don't want there to be actives. Why? Whoa, that's crazy, right? Because actives are random. You get one shot down from, whenever you think you're up in a fight because of an active and things like that. Like, those sort of things, elements in the game, I want consistency. That's all I want.
All right, thank you very much, John. Let's go to Mence. Mence, 45 seconds.
Can
Multiplayer
I just say
feature.
real quick,
Oh.
Maple, you spent your 45 seconds just rebuttaling one of my topics. I hate you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I love you, but I don't
I love you too.
Mence, you there, Mence?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go for it. You got 45 seconds.
Okay. I think that the capture the flag could work, but what Typo said, I believe that it probably wouldn't work due to the height and everything like that. I just want to see like you said, no actives was huge. Gears Judgment was amazing with no actives. I'm one of the few people that actually played the game a lot when it came out and still played it. That made the game a lot smoother. I think instead of watching all these new game tapes come out, all these other things like they tried and they all were shitty, I want to see King of the Hill spawns fixed. I want to see things like that because like right now we're playing King of the Hill and it's so broken, but we've gotten so used to it that we play it. People still spawn with people. King of the Hill trenches, we spawn with people.
Yeah.
And we're playing on it and it's broken. If King of the Hill is fixed and we have execution fixed too, we're perfect. Just throw us some symmetrical maps, no actives, and I'll play the game.
Nice. Well said. Tanner.
Symmetrical maps, multiple game type besides execution, a bomb game type, like they have in Call of Duty, I think would be great. Like a neutral bomb or both teams get a bomb, kind of S&D. I think that'd be really interesting in execution settings with one life per round. I just want a good game, a fun game, maybe fix. I think no actives. I think actives are unnecessary addition to Gears of War. It kind of throws off the balance that should be in place regardless. Just want a fun game.
All right. And Britt, go ahead.
I would like to see interactive elements like changing the map, kind of like Avalanche did, to reveal new power weapons and stuff like that. I think we could see some really cool strategies out of that. And, Cog vs. Locust, females, keep those in there. Bring Dizzy back. That kind of thing.
Bring Dizzy back.
Jason, what about you? Let me hear from you.
All right. You know me, a really good spectator mode, so I don't have to be left bumpering, right bumpering. I don't know where the action is, kind of thing. So I want them to fix the spectator mode so it's actually really utilized really well. Put on some really good shows. I want a skill-based matchmaking system. I have this super baby algorithm that would it's a mathematical formula that would calculate your combat effectiveness over time. It's not a weird formula. It's really in depth, but someone needs to figure out how to capture that combat effectiveness, and I think that's what would make a true skill ranking system. So, true skill ranking system, spectator mode, fix what we already have, because we love the game, obviously, we just need to fix what we have. We don't need anything crazy new. And to rebuttal your guys on the active reload, I believe an active reload should be something skill-based, not necessarily more damage, but for instance, if you have a torque bow, it already happens with the torque bow. If you active reload a torque bow, the torque bow thing comes up a lot faster, right? So with the Lancer, it's a skill-based thing. So if you active reload with the Lancer, maybe you get a slightly tinier cone of spray on the Lancer. I don't even know what to do with the shotgun right now. But it would be skill-based,
power boost or
zoning.
Maybe
Maybe
it reloads faster.
That's it. Well, it reloads faster. But hear me out. This is my suggestion. God damn it! Give me my 15 seconds back. It's something skill based. With the Lancer, instead of when you active reload, maybe when you hard aim and you walk and strafe, you walk just a tiny bit faster. Just stuff like that puts you in the zone to make you a little better and reward you for getting the active reload rather than just a fast reload. And I think I am done.
So in other words, what we're saying,
maybe more ammo.
In other words, what we're saying is
shotgun.
We want maps that have a fucking crane that take you from one side to the other, and we want to not get downed anymore. And we want tanks. We want tanks and helicopters.
I'm totally down about Avalanche, though. That was on point for sure.
What I will say,
Avalanche
this
is
is
one
an
of the best
important.
Gears 2 maps.
Avalanche is really fun. This is an important plug right now, real quick. On that topic, actually, a wish list was created originally by Metaphor, and it's been really added to. I just posted in the chat. That wish list is awesome and very extensive, and there's a lot of stuff on like Horde and like so it appeals to everyone. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Read through that if you have any suggestions. We're taking suggestions for that. We'll
forgot.
hopefully eventually deliver that to Black Tusk. From the Hypefestation competitive community, I think would be awesome if Rabbit is okay with that, of course. But check out that link and check out that wish list.
It showed up as a deleted link. Can I? What time is it? We got 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and we have to do a Hype 3 update. So let's close that out. And the last thing I forgot to mention for a suggestion, because I didn't have time, but would be a free-to-play mode that even if you don't have the game, like say Overrun, because Overrun you can add Locust, you can add new classes, and that's stuff that they can make money off of. So make Overrun or something like that free to play. So people that don't even buy the game, they have something free to play. They could try it in that free mode and be like, hey, shit, I want the real game, and I'll go get the multiplayer game, and there you go. Then the rest of the modes
like
open
an
up.
arcade mode it's like an arcade version.
Yeah.
That'd be freaking.
And they can always make money on something like that, buy a new type of Locust. Like, oh shit, I want to be a berserker, in this game. So then just
That's a great
whatever.
idea.
I look at it as moneymaker. Quinn was telling me that there was something like that in place, but Microsoft was like, nope, just make the game. So I don't know whose story with that. We kind of neat. I would love to see that. Let's move over to the Hype 3 update. Yes, John, you're getting really excited. So,
There's no more hypes. That's the update.
Yeah, we decided.
yeah,
to
we're gonna play Titanfall and matchmaking, and that's it. That's what's happening.
Yep. Barbosa's stepping down, and Mike
Yeah.
is taking over all
Yeah.
Australia all the time. So.
Exactly. Yep.
Sorry, everybody.
That's exactly what's happening. To bring up, there's still a 2v2 in SoCal that we're trying to get people to go to. There seems like a decent crowd already. The 2v2 hopefully turns into 4v4 teams, and they get together more often, and they'll have their little version of NJ Halo, King of the Couch, whatever the case may be. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk, Vince. If you guys want to know where Hype 3 is, we're going to sort of zone you guys, okay? We're looking at Chicago and Indiana. Pretty much, right, John? That's really all our discussions happen.
Finally, we can say it. Holy shit.
Yeah. So
Who does?
it is going to zone in that area. So go ahead and look up plane tickets for Chicago. Look up plane tickets for Indianapolis, Ohio. Look in all those little places where it would, how much it would cost you to roughly get to those kind of places, because that's really it's going to be end of April or first week in May. It's the last weekend in April or the first week in May. If we can't do it then, we're not going to do it. We can't do it if we can't get those dates, because we don't want to do this during people's finals.
Yep, spot on. So finally, we can tell you guys that much, and I'll tell you where we're at in the process. Is I've gone around and visited multiple LAN centers and multiple locations, multiple venues, talked to people, and I will say where we're at in the process is negotiation, discussion of what it's going to look like, what the pricing is going to look like, all that stuff. So we're there. We just kind of need to finalize is what we need to do, and we're hopefully going to get there. We're hoping by the end of this week, early next week, to finalize where we're going to be at, and it's ultimately going to come down to what they can offer us in terms of like a stream setup and also pricing is obviously huge.
Yes.
We want to make sure we can have as much of a prize pool for you guys as possible.
Yes.
If the venue costs so much money, you guys get no prize pool.
Exactly.
So that's really what it comes down to, those pieces. But we're pretty close.
And also, I'm looking out for everyone. Last weekend in April or first weekend in May. And this is the last thing. I am always considering your guys' wallets in the sense that I don't want you coming to an event and spending a ton of money. So we're also looking at what venue has the closest hotel, how much does the hotels cost? Can we get you guys a group rate deal on the hotels? Can all that stuff? Where are you going to get food? Is your food going to be super expensive? Is there a cheap option close by? I think of all this when I look at a venue, so we're looking out for you guys. If all goes well, this may be one of the cheapest events actually to attend if you're flying in.
Yep.
So that's what we're aiming for.
Wherever we end up, there will be buildings. Buildings will be on stream.
Yes, there will be absolute buildings, signies. No, it was at Kusama.
This will be back.
What's up? Kona just showed up. Kona must have heard that we were talking about his home city there. And I think Hype. Yes, we're definitely going to be in Summer Jam. That's going to be our second event. I can tell you guys that. So I don't know what maps and stuff we'll be doing. I don't know what the prize money is, but we were totally invited to go to Summer Jam. So there will be another one probably in Essington or Philadelphia again. And then the last one of the year is like we're doing like a 4-step season here for like nationals. There's going to be regionals, but for like 4-step nationals, the very last one I want to have is definitely in SoCal, because if I can have one in SoCal, we can have Carlos Ferro show up. We can have like the Noobs movie guys show up. We can have a bunch of voice actors show. Like it would be awesome. It'd be like a GearsCon if we got it to be in LA. So
Yep.
that's what we'd like to do, and hopefully we've raised enough money and impressions and sponsorships and attention that we can get enough money to go do that and make it super awesome, and then everyone gets their new games for the holiday season, and then we never see you guys again.
And not only that, Rain brought this up before the stream went live, and this is so true. Guys, sorry, Rain, I'm going to let you say it. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, okay, I'll say it then. In 1 year, guys, we're going to have hopefully 4 Gears of War 3 events.
Oh, that.
The last time Gears of War has had more than one event per year was 2009.
5 years.
Five-
A long time.
5 years ago was the last time Gears of War had more than one event in a year, and we're gonna hit you guys with 4, hopefully. Like that is super duper. Holy crap, Polska's in here. Anyways, that is super exciting news. You know, it's exciting for the Gears of War community. I'm just happy to be able to see you guys 4 times in 1 year as opposed to once every 5 years. Like, this is awesome.
Oh, also, devs are paying attention to us. Like, I'm getting emails. I'm not going to tell you who they are because I'm protecting them right now from the masses of do this in this game and do that in this game, and I'm not going to play. Like, you guys are scary. You guys are like literally scary. I told the devs, hey, you know what? Why don't you guys lay low, figure out what you want to do? Maybe you'll come out with a nice big press release when you're totally ready to, with the shield and everything, to take on the community. But they are watching, and there's interest in them even attending one of these. So show them your shit. You know, like come out there, show them why this game's awesome, and you know we'll be able to collectively as a community kind of request what should be in a game. And we totally believe in top-down balancing, so the most skilled players should be rewarded the most. No random factors like that. Like it should go from the top down. So the top performing players the game should be balanced based on top performance. So let's keep showing them that. And the way you guys fucking kill people with those active reloads is amazing. Just show them, yeah, we gotta nerf this shit. So I think I've said my piece with the next hype. You guys want to do a final word segment, or that's everybody gets their final words? That would
That's
work, right?
awesome.
So, John, do you want to start? Or Britt, do you want? Let's start with Britt. Britt, let's wrap this up. Everything we've talked about, you know, we'll give you like a good fat minute and a half. Everything we talked about today, and then things in the future. Final words.
I'm really looking forward to the future with you guys. If we keep this momentum going, just make sure if you aren't a competitive player, just make sure you support the streams and the content that's out there. If you like it, make sure you support that, tweet it out, whatever you guys got to do. And just looking forward to the future. I'm really happy with you guys and how we're going. So.
Britt is really happy. Thank you, Britt.
I'm really happy.
I'm happier now.
Even though I feel like crap, I'm so happy. Can you tell?
Go back where it's to Tanner. Final words, sir.
Just keep supporting Gears. I'm glad to see the community growing. If you have feedback for the settings, I think we can do it better than yelling at people on Twitter. So I think the discussions need to be more constructive than attacking or hostile. So just everything should be constructive about settings because we're trying to make the best game for everyone, not make people mad.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's go to Mentz.
That's good, Rand.
Just want to say thanks for everybody for watching. And just for anybody who wasn't here in the beginning, I stated this. I'm actually going to be making helping make a highlight clip, like a whole entire YouTube video of highlight clips from Hype Winter Brawl. So if you have your favorite clips or you saw an amazing play on the main stage or anything, you're more than welcome to tweet at me. It's J_Mentz. You could tweet me. I'll make sure I find it. Believe me, I'm watching every single hour of Hype. So it's going to be really hard for me to miss it. We're going to put it out. It's going to be nice so everyone can see. And, to get some, highlights going. And people definitely want to see, the clips that happen and recall, Yogurt's 3v1 and situations like that.
Yeah.
So And also, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but me, Chubbs, and Caution don't really know what we're doing yet, but we actually might be needing one for next event. So, we got 5th last tournament. We probably could have done better, but we might be looking for one. So if anybody's interested, let us know.
He's allowed. It's his final words.
Yep, I agree with that.
So thank you, Ments. Let's go over to Typo. Final words.
Oh, geez, there's so many.
We got a minute and a half. I'm timing.
I guess the biggest thing to say really is just keep supporting Gears. Obviously, you're all here because you love it. That's the reason I'm still here, because Titanfall's out. But the thing is let's just be real. Like we need to push the community. We need to just band together right now. Like this is the time that the devs are watching us. Even though we can't say who they are, even though I could speculate all day, but we need to just have great constructive criticism, keep giving lots of feedback to what Hype's trying to do, helping out with testing settings, and giving honest feedback. Don't just say like, oh, this map sucks. Give actual feedback. Also, another thing is just check out the petition that Meta or Rabbit did. Like honestly, that's gonna get a lot of stuff. I know that Rod's seen it and other people from Black Tusk. So just put your best foot forward and just keep supporting the game.
All right, thank you, sir. And let's go over
to we had a question. I'm sorry.
Sure, go.
Anyone some people were asking for clarification on the next event. Do you have a time frame, or did you give one?
Yeah, I did. It's either the last weekend in April or the first weekend in May, and it's going to be in the Chicago, Ohio, or Indiana area. So it's not going to be on a state bordering the East Coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah.
Or Texas.
Maybe a couple lakes.
It will not be in Texas. Sorry, Typo.
Oh, and to clarify for people in the chat, there is still, like, when you're playing right now, it's one Carmine. Because in all these online tournaments you're playing every weekend, it's going to be one Carmine. So just man up.
Nice.
Is that official?
There you go.
Heard it from Ments.
Official.
Every online tournament has had it, so just...
Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's a good call. Am I up?
Yep, Fallout. Final word, sir. Minute and a half.
Yeah, what's up, people? You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I think someone was just giving compliments saying great show. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys being here, first and foremost. Couple of things. So next couple of weeks, we have a lot of online tournaments. We have Big Bang V4 next weekend. This weekend is the Redemption Tournament by Subject Matters. We have a 2 versus 2 tournament that Chocobo is hosting with awesome 2v2 settings. It's like going to be basically all skill shotgun fights 2v2, which is exciting. Check those out, guys. Like the game is active again. That's really exciting to hear. Make sure you're watching those streams in the weekend and supporting that. And then another thing that is key, we just gave you guys a couple huge teasers and announcements for the next Hype. And I want to say, people hear Hype and it's like, oh, it's a LAN competition tournament. I can't go if I don't have a team. I'm not competing. No, like I want to make sure you guys realize if you like Gears of War, if you like enjoy having fun, like just show up as a spectator, as an individual. There's a few people that did it at the last Hype and they had a blast. They could probably tell you what it's all about. But just by showing up, you are showing a lot of support and you're going to get to meet these people that you're seeing their names on stream and talking to every weekend. And you're going to have the time of your life, especially like at night after the fact and after everything. We go out, we have a great time. So you're really just paying for a vacation is what you're paying for.
Here's vacation.
Especially if you live in the Chicagoland area or like Midwest area, there's no reason that you should not show up. If you don't have a team, oh well. If you have a team, great. If you don't have a team, oh well. Show up, have fun with us.
You might get picked up.
You might get picked up by a team. I got picked up last minute by a team when it came to commentate, and Fatal Strike did as well. So it happens. Also, I have to end it with this. Shout out Fatal Strike for life, coming at you live.
The strikeout.
Strikeout. Oh man.
All right, so I'll wrap this up. Guys, thank you for watching. I gave you hints for Hype. Keep the professionalism up. Keep your feedback positive. Don't assault each other. Kind of like be constructive with each other. Don't just kick people in the ass because you don't like their opinion. I'm sure there's valid points. If you have valid points, express that, wherever you are. Next, the changing of the forums is now going to Black Tusk. I don't know how far they are in their process. I do know Epic Games is locking, like they're just going to lock every topic so that everything is archived and all those discussions don't disappear, and then they're going to move it to Black Tusk. So it would be nice if you guys contributed to the Black Tusk forums and we actually had a competitive presence on there somewhere. Let's not spam the board in a topic that's not for us, but at least go over there, say hi when they do open up. It'll be really nice to get some representation from you guys, because there are a lot of players that I've never met, never heard of, but they're so avid on the community forums that, hey, why don't we integrate them into our conversations and we might have more people at these events. So Let's do that. Whenever Black Tusks open those forums, let's get on there and say hi and say we're here. And about attending events, we don't just do the 4v4 anymore. I don't want Gears, especially because it's one game, I don't want the 4v4 being the only event. Like, I always hated that MLG shut down their stations, and they didn't put them away. They kind of just shut down their stations, said no, you can't play on them. And then like we get to the quarterfinals and stuff, and I know they wanted people to watch, so I would do that just for the most important matches. But we're gonna do 1v1s again, we'll do 2v2s again, shit, we'll even do 4v4 mixers, like have some show matches. And so even if you're not going because you don't have a 4v4 team for the general bracket, there will be something for you to do. You can get your hands on a controller and you can play. That's definitely gonna be available to you if you come as a spectator. So come on anyway and play in one of those things. If you are a little intimidated about just getting into a 4v4 general bracket, maybe this is a good step for you to get in. So that's it from me. Should I answer any questions real quick? Did I bring up anything that you guys have a question about this is the Skype chat, or should we just close it out?
No, thank you, Barbosa, for everything. Everybody, thank this guy, man. He's keeping Gears alive single-handedly.
Not single-handedly. I don't ever want to take ownership for doing all this. What I do is I encourage the community to move. That's pretty much what I do. Like, move your asses.
It's a group effort, but you started the Chain Revive.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Chain
people.
Revive. Yo, we found it. The name of the show, Chain Revive. What the fuck are we thinking?
Chain Revive.
Chain Revive. Here's
Oh. Tap up.
Tap up, yeah. The weekly tap
Yeah.
up. Hosted by Hypestation.
It sounds like something else. All right. So let's close this out. We're getting to a 9:25, so we're 10 minutes over generally what I wanted to do. We're making these quick shows, so we're going to end abruptly with an ad. So you guys watch that. No pop-up blockers. We could use some of the revenue that we do, and thank you guys for watching. So I'm going to close this out.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
Everybody.
Captain out with everybody in the Skype chat. And...
Drop the mic.
Yep.